Yaps. It's in the name. Oh, shit. All right, Jesse Water says, Justin, Trump says that Ayatollah can run, but he can't hide. He's just a dog, and when the dog calls, the dogs get a barking. Israel is begging the U.S. to drop a massive penetatory on Iran's nuclear site. You want me to drop my giant what on their what? Turan says, if we do, it'll go berserk on us. Yeah, good luck. Trump has a big decision to make, and it will be his most consequential decision yet. Before I give my opinion, let's hear what Jesse has to say.
Last night, Donald Trump's ordering the Iranians to surrender unconditionally. Last night, he warned everybody to flee the capital, and now Tehran's a ghost town.
That was crazy, where he says all the people of Tehran, the capital of Iran, GTFO.
Surgical strikes target Iranian nuclear scientists and military commanders have taken their toll. Boys. Windows have turned to powder, and the lobby of buildings are gone. Overnight, Israel continued to pummel missile and drone infrastructure in the western part of the country. Tel Aviv says they've destroyed over 120 Iranian missile launchers since Thursday. That's about 40% of their missile capacity. They also took out Iran's top general early this morning.
Yeah.
I was
going to say, look, he was the new war chief. This was like his third day in office, and he got taken out. That's a shitty job.
Only at the job for 4 days after his old boss was executed. Israel's already slaughtered 11 senior Iranian generals.
I shouldn't laugh at that.
But the regime is retaliating tonight with a barrage of ballistic missile strikes against the Jewish state. Our very own Trey Yingst just had to duck for cover in Tel Aviv on the 5.
Air defense systems are currently active over Tel Aviv with hundreds of thousands of people into bomb shelters at this moment. Unhook. Get off. All right, we got it. We're going to move. Okay. Stay with us. Stay with us. Stay with us. Keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving.
The IDF says 80 to 90% of Iran's missiles are being intercepted by the Iron Dome and by U.S. missile defense systems in the region. And they have something up their sleeve. Israel says the Beeper operation will seem simple compared to what it has in store next. The Israeli ambassador is promising a number of surprises when the dust settles within the next 24 hours. Netanyahu still isn't ruling out an assassination strike against the Ayatollah.
What's insane is Trump, it's crazy when Trump goes on Twitter and he's like, oh, we know where he's hiding. It's not really hard to find him. He's safe for now. For now.
It's not going to escalate the conflict. It's going to end the conflict. We've had half a century of conflict spread by this regime that terrorizes everyone in the Middle East, has bombed the Aramco oil fields in Saudi Arabia, is spreading terrorism and subversion and sabotage everywhere. That's the forever war is what Iran wants, and they're bringing us to the brink of nuclear war.
Netanyahu says killing the Iranian leader will be the end of the conflict, but
I don't think so.
It could also be the beginning of the conflict.
I agree.
Because the next Ayatollah could be even nastier.
Yep.
The White House is thinking right now is it's the Ayatollah you know versus the Ayatollah you don't know. That's not to say Trump couldn't decide to swoop in and do some gigantic action. Trump already rejected Israel's original plan for regime change, but he wants Khomeini to know that he's the one keeping him alive. Quote, we know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. He is an easy target, but is safe there. We are not going to take him out, kill, at least not for now. But we don't want missiles shot at civilians or American soldiers. Our patience is wearing thin. Trump says the Iranians missed the opportunity of a lifetime.
I told them to do the deal. They should have done the deal. Their cities have been blown to pieces. They've lost a lot of people. They should have done the deal. I told them, do the deal.
Trump always wanted a deal, but Netanyahu, after October
do the deal.
7th,
it's a great deal.
Decided he was going to strike Iran
there are a lot
anyway,
of deals. This is a great deal.
Without the United States, regardless of whether we were negotiating. Netanyahu even asked Trump for the bunker busters, but Trump said no and was focused on signing a deal, but began to feel the Iranians were stringing us along. And after they missed their deadline and the clock ran out, he let Israel go hard the very next day. And now Trump has a big decision to make. The U.S. and Israel control the airspace over Iran. Their proxies have been gutted. Our sanctions are strangling the country, and Israel's conducting sabotage and espionage activity inside of their borders. The U.S. naval assets have surged into the region, encircling the regime in the Arabian Sea, the Gulf, and in the Mediterranean. Sources say B-52s are stationed in the Indian Ocean within striking distance of Iran. And Trump says this country cannot have a nuclear weapon.
It's very simple. You don't have to go too deep into it. They just can't have a nuclear weapon. Or what are you looking for here? An end. A real end, not a ceasefire. An end.
So something that would be permanent.
Yeah. Or giving up entirely. That's okay too.
Are you close there? Is that possible? Is that possible in the next 24
Why not? Certainly possible.
Is it likely to happen? No. Is it a possibility? Sure.
Complete give up. That's possible.
Trump's orchestrating a massive
Not
pressure
likely, but
campaign to
possible.
ensure the Iranians never get a nuke. Politico says it's the most consequential decision of his presidency. The Trump administration doesn't want to barrel into risky missions or regime changes, but they recognize there's a historic window of opportunity to solve a problem that's vexed U.S. presidents for decades. How to fully eliminate the Iranian nuclear program. Does the president authorize American pilots to fly B-2 bombers?
I mean, you could just turn every official into vapor, right? Like you know where the leaders are at. The people of Iran don't support their own government. Get a list of the top most 100 influential government officials in there. Overnight.
Bombers over Iran and drop a series of bunker busters
Not
on
the people,
Fordow, the underground
but
Iranian
the
nuclear facility?
Tyrants.
Or does he let the Israeli air campaign put Khomeini under so much pressure that he crawls back to the negotiating table and signs away his nuke program peacefully?
He won't do that.
Trump met with his national security team earlier today and is carefully deliberating. The president just finished a call with Netanyahu this afternoon and is keeping all options on the table. He's considering dispatching J.D. Vance and negotiator Steve Witkoff to the region, while also getting assets in place if he decides to strike. Israel can't eliminate the Iranian nuclear threat by themselves.
See, like this just looks like one giant underground base. Just, you know, get a bomb that could just bunker buster all square footage of this. Just turn all of this into a new crater and blow up everything underneath here.
They have their own bunker busters, but none of them are powerful enough to pierce 300 feet deep underground. There's only one bomb for the job, and we have it. The MOP. The massive ordnance penetrator weighs 30,000 pounds. It's so heavy that it can only be lifted by an American B-2 bomber. And once it drops, it explodes horizontally and vertically. We've been working on it for 20 years. Trump tested one during his first term, and it's fully operational. We've used variations of bunker busters in the past, in the Iraq War, to destroy deep Iraqi command centers, and then in the Afghanistan War to target al-Qaeda caves. They look like this.
Yeah, let's see this. I mean, I've seen this in Call of Duty.
Using bunker busters against
Holy shit.
Iran's nuke sites doesn't come without a risk. The Iranians have stated that if the United States does take offensive action against them, they'll target U.S. bases and the U.S. Navy in the region.
That would be a critical mistake on their end. Critical.
If we decimate their nuke site, we'll take away their only leverage, and they could lash out unpredictably. A dirty bomb, suicide bombers, assassination attempts. Who knows? We'd have to deal with the consequences.
Well, apparently, Iran's already had 2 assassination attempts on Trump.
The United States targeting Iran's nuclear facilities doesn't necessarily lead to regime change. It could domino into regime change, but it doesn't necessarily guarantee it.
Yep.
The commander-in-chief has campaigned against regime change and expensive quagmires, but in the first term, he wasn't shy about taking decisive action to eliminate threats when opportunities presented themselves, striking Soleimani, al-Baghdadi, and bombing ISIS off the map. No one in the administration is considering putting boots on the ground. That's what we think. But bunker busters against Iranian nuke sites would be a bold and dramatic escalation. J.D. Vance says whatever he decides, Trump will make the right call. Quote, people are right to be worried about foreign entanglement after the last 25 years of idiotic foreign policy.
Absolutely, every American that's like my age and maybe even a little older just does not trust our government because of how much foreign entanglement that there has been and how many lies. Like how many we've heard that Iran's been days away from a nuclear bomb for decades at this point.
But I believe the president has earned some trust on this issue. And having seen this up close and personal, I can assure you that he is only interested in using the American military to accomplish American people's goals. Whatever he does, that is his focus.
Let's see what the comments have to say. What do the comment sections have to say about this? What does the U.S. get out of attacking Iran? I clearly see what Israel gets, but what do we benefit from? It's a very good question. Stability in the region, more trade, more emerging markets, dramatically reduced terrorism, and peace in the Middle East. I mean, true. The war machine gets paid, and Iran gets a regime change run by the intel agency. Same thing as every other war. I mean, the MOP can only go 300 feet max. Iran's underground complexes are a few kilometers. Do the math. You're telling me the 3,000 ton or 300,000 ton bomb only goes 300 feet down? Ain't no way. This is false. Trust our great president. The situation is damned if we do and damned if we don't. Israel attacked first, you clown. This is not true. I mean, if we just go back in like the past month, sure. But if we look over decades and centuries and millennia, how far back do you want to go to see who cast the first stone? I voted for Trump partially out of the disgust over the forever wars. However, Iran is responsible for so much of the instability in the Middle East via proxies and weapons. They should be nullified if we could do it for a bargain price, as it has via Israel's incredible infiltration skills. The time to attack is now, so the 46-year-old nightmare can finally come to an end. History will thank us. Part of me agrees with this. Not all of me. Part of me does. The boss has already decided if he's really going to bomb them, the B-2s are already on the way from Arkansas. This is also true. There's so many like military equipment that is, especially American military equipment, that is just lined up, pointed, waiting for the order for Donald Trump to say, press the button, boys. And then they say, time to press the button. And then all hell breaks loose. And you know what's like the most concerning about this is like, what does this even mean? That the Iranian state media has issued a chilling warning saying there is a surprise tonight that the world will remember for centuries. And it literally was a dude stroking a nuclear bomb. Iranian state media says there will be a surprise tonight that the world will remember for centuries. And it's a dude stroking a nuclear bomb-shaped pecker named Maybe. Bro, I was joking with some of the guys at the gym of like, yo, what's the over-under of us going into World War III by the end of the week? And they're like, it probably won't be this week. It'll probably be next week. Boys, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to last till Friday. I think tonight, Tuesday, June 17th through Thursday, June 19th, I think something is going to go down in the history books. I'm getting absolute goosebumps on this prediction. Absolute goosebumps. I think so. I think World War III is going to start by Thursday. I think something's going to happen. And I hope I'm wrong. God, I hope we can go back and stream on Thursday and come back and laugh at me and be like, haha, you remember when you were actually sad, depressed, and thinking that World War III was going to start? I hope we can get there. Because right now, it doesn't feel like that at all, does it, boys?